Mike's in the kitchen cooking redfish, coubillon, frog legs in the fryer. Swordfish, backstrap, the breast, oh yeah, throw it all on the fire. Out in the sportsman's paradise, Louisiana.
Hi guys, we're over at our humble abode in Oak Harbor, Grand Champions. We're here today to try to show you how we make hot tamales of the pack. Our assistant today is my wife Carolyn, also known as Love of the Pack. We have Andrew Stowe, who was my first mate, and we're just going to try to run through the whole scenario of making hot tamales. This is the ingredients. We already pre-mixed it so you can save some time, and the reason why we do it in a bowl here is one time we had like 20 pounds of ground meat, and Love of the Pack got mixed up with chili powder and cayenne pepper, and we had 4 cups of cayenne pepper. Well, it wasn't going to work, so we lost the ground meat. So now we do it in a bowl and make sure we have everything ready. If you step over here, you can see the different ingredients. You've got cornmeal, salt, chili powder, black pepper, garlic, cayenne pepper, cumin, and then we have the various measuring systems over here to measure everything up. Up here is the menu itself. It's not a scientific menu. Either way you want to go, it's not that important. I would be very cautious with the cayenne pepper, and I'd be very cautious with the black pepper. And with this menu here, up at the top it says number of batches. You could put how many batches you want to make right here, and it'll automatically multiply it out for you. It's just a Excel program. There you go. Over here is the type pot that we use. We like it because it has a lid, number one, and on the inside it has a rack. If you back up, you can see the rack. The hot tamales go right on top of the rack. It doesn't burn them or anything. And on this type pot right here, you could probably do a double batch without any problem and still have enough room to do what you want to do, what you need to do. All right, so now if you can see, we're dumping the ingredients inside of here. We're going to mix it on top of here like that and get ready to mix things.
It's just the onions and some tomato sauce, and then you also put a little, I got a fork over here, and I put a little water in it. And you gotta puree it.
So they're not going to be chopped. When you get through, you're going to have a slurry, huh?
It's going to be totally pureed.
Okay.
After the tomatoes, the onions are pureed with the tomato sauce, then you just pour it into the ground meat batter.
So now at that point, all your seasoning
all the seasons
is in there.
here.
Salt, pepper,
Everything,
garlic, everything.
The ground meat, all this dry seasonings, and your onion with the tomato sauce, and mix it all up.
We didn't show you, but he did wash it.
I did wash my hands.
Okay.
Andrew said to do that, say you washed my hands.
Yeah, I just washed mine while you two were talking.
I washed mine too, but for a different reason.
You want to try to get a little texture. You don't want it too loose, not real loose. You want to make sure you got all the seasoning in it.
Now listen, if it is too loose,
put a little more cornmeal in it to dry it up a little bit.
Gotcha.
But you don't want it to be real loose, and you want a little body, a little solid texture.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to say. You just don't want it to be real
well,
loose.
when you get to that point, you can show us. We'll have to see it.
Like I said, this is a double batch, and sometimes we do triple batches, and that would be the most I would recommend to do at one time.
You mentioned earlier that you're going to keep mixing that until what you know it's done.
You can see right here, there's raw ground meat. You just want to keep mixing until you don't see that anymore. Okay. Look right here, there's raw ground meat.
Okay.
You just want to keep doing that until you don't see that anymore. Something like the texture you're looking for. You want it to kind of like stick a little bit. You don't want it real watery. This is a cake mix, cake decorating bag. This one's already tore, So make sure you have a couple of them on hand. If that happens, you got another one you could use. This is just a regular cake decorating bag. It comes with a smaller hole, but you cut that hole for whatever size hot tamales you want. And for me, this is the best thing since sliced bread for making hot tamales. You just take it and you load it into the bag. If it gets too hard to push out, you just run a little water in the bag, not much, just enough to grease it up a little bit. And these hot tamales will ring right out of here. Take the bag, grab it right here, and you squeeze it tight to have the back pressure. So now we've put some wax paper on top of our original cover to protect the table. If you notice, we overlap the wax paper. And what we're going to do now is we're going to run the hot tamales crossways to help hold the paper in place. But you just take this cake decorating here and you start right there and you just start squeezing. And it comes out perfect. And ain't nothing scientific, just keep squeezing. It's a little tough to squeeze them right now, but I'm going to show you how to handle that. Okay, I'm going to run another line. And I just ran some water through the thing. See how much easier that is? It comes out nice and even right as you go along. When you use some of it, just tighten the bag up again to give it a little more back pressure you're looking for. Squeeze it tight. This is a good lady's job. They're used to decorating cakes. This takes a little more pressure. We're going to do the whole table like this, and then Oneofthepack should come over here and cut them. What, about 2 inches?
I don't know. Is that more like maybe about 3 inches?
And
or something
she
like that?
separates them like that.
I'll just cut them and separate them. Just, it's not any particular measurement, just how I love. This is our next step. We just take yellow cornmeal.
Let me see the bag, please. It's just regular cornmeal.
Just regular
Okay.
yellow cornmeal.
Okay.
And then we just put some in the plates because this is what we're going to roll the hot tamales in.
Keep it going, Mike. Just keep it going.
Okay.
Now we're going to step over here, and Mr. Andrew is going to show you how to roll it. Tell him how to do it, Andrew.
Well, basically, you just pick it up and try to keep it in shape and then just roll it in the cornmeal. Nothing scientific.
Now, I asked you earlier, Pat, so
And then that's
that
it.
outer layer is not going to be as thick in yours as
That-
you might find them in a taco stand.
That aisle layer is going to be about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an
Okay.
inch. Perfect.
So it really showcases the meat then.
Yeah,
Just- you
see,
just roll it very
and
gently.
put it in another plate.
What you want to do is, like I told you before, you don't want to get those plates that have a laminate on it or a cover on it or coating on it.
Yeah.
Nor do you want to use styrofoam. These cheap plates, what it does, it holds that ground meat so that you just go real easy with it. Put it on another plate. Now we're going to step over here, and Mr. Andrew is going to show you how to roll them. Tell him how to do it, Andrew.
Well, basically, you just pick it up and try to keep it in shape and then just roll it in the cornmeal. Nothing scientific.
Now, I asked you earlier, Pat, so
And then that's
that
it.
outer layer is not going to be as thick in yours as
That-
you might find them in a taco
No,
stand.
that aisle layer is going to be about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an
Okay.
inch. Perfect.
So it really showcases the meat then.
Yeah,
Just- you
see,
just roll it very
and
gently.
Put it in another plate.
What you want to do is, like I told you before, you don't want to get those plates that have a laminate on it or a cover on or coating on it.
Yeah.
Nor do you want to use styrofoam. These cheap plates, what it does, it holds that ground meat so that you just go real easy with it. Put it on another plate. And we do it in steps like this, so then we'll clean all of this up and we'll go to the next step of actually wrapping the hot tamales and actually putting them in the pan. All right, this is the hot tamale papers. We buy them at Doronac. They're in the produce department. Doronac's the only place I can find these size hot tamale papers. And what you do is you lay them out, kind of like move them around and wet them. If you put them all in there one time, you're gonna have a real hard time separating them. So you just keep doing layers all the way through, like that. Just let them get wet. Put the water over there, and just keep moving them around. So when we put them on the table, you can easily pull them apart one at a time. Now these papers, if you notice, they're kind of like rigid. It's like cornmeal, but it's not. It's actually paper. And when you lay the hot tamale down, you lay it this way to start your roll, the long side, not the short side. We'll get to rolling in a minute.
Okay, we're doing the sauce now for the hot tamales, which we will pour on the hot tamales to cook them. And we just have a saucepan here with some water, and then a can of tomato sauce, and then 2 ounces of chili powder. Put that in there.
Not red pepper, right?
No, this is chili powder.
I'm playing.
And then we're just gonna heat this up till it comes to a boil, and then we're gonna put that on top of the hot tamales, which we'll show you.
All right, now we're in another phase of making the hot tamales, and we have to wrap them with the papers. If you look at Andrew over there, he's in the process of doing some. He does it pretty good. But the papers are wet now. You see them in the strainer.
Yep.
You have to wet the papers. They're doing pretty good. If you look down here, where I normally do it is, you take the long side of the paper, you put the hot tamales somewhere in the middle, and you start rolling. And you make a couple of rolls like that, but as I'm rolling, I'm actually trying to pull it apart.
Putting a little pressure on it.
Low pressure. And then when I get like that, I take this finger and I flip it over, and I'm done. And if it's hanging out the other side, you just tap it, but you just come over
You
here.
don't close the other end at all?
No, definitely not.
You leave it open?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We made that, first time we made that mistake. You don't do that.
All right.
But again, you just start it like that, grab that finger, roll it over, and tap it. Not a science. Here, let me give you one more.
Okay.
Set the hot tamale right there. You're rolling it like that.
So the
Grab it.
tamales are definitely shorter than the paper.
Grab your little finger right there, pull that over like that, and seal that in. No big deal. My thing is, if you're gonna dirty all this in pots and pans and stuff like that, you just wanna make a triple batch or 2 triple batches. Because no matter how many batches you make, you're still gonna have the same dirty equipment. But leave the other end open, so when the juices are in the pot, it'll get in there and soak and make the cornmeal swell up. And we're gonna taste these hot tamales in about 2 hours. That's how long it takes to cook them. As you can see, we are still in the process of rolling the hot tamales, like we showed you. And what Carol, with Oneofthepack's gonna do now, she's gonna clean these off and get them out of our way. This is the pan that we're gonna use. Inside the pan, it has a little tray, like I said, to keep the hot tamales off from the bottom. And when she stacks them, she's gonna stack one row this way, and then she's gonna cross it, come back the other way. Show them what you're doing back.
So you just stack them in right next to each other.
Tight.
Just keep stacking them, and all the bottom row will go in one direction, and when we do the next row, it'll go in
Towards
the
the side of the
opposite
pan, are you putting the opening or the closed end?
way. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It
Okay.
doesn't matter how they go. You just stack them up right
When
next to each other,
When she goes back to the next layer, she'll lay it crossways.
Oh, okay, I see.
like
like that.
this.
Yeah,
So
got it.
each layer will go
Okay.
in the different directions.
Sounds good.
That'll help it soak in and get into the hot tamales and actually cooks them.
And you're-
Here we have all the hot tamales have been rolled. They're set in the pot. And remember now, as you do the layers, you stack them back and forth. One layer this way, one layer this way. All right, we're gonna take over here to the stove. Oneofthepack has made the sauce that go on top of them. So you see you got a nice layer of water on top of it. The fire is on. How long do we leave it cook, man?
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the burners up a little bit higher,
So you're gonna cook it on the stovetop, not in the
Right.
oven? Okay.
and then once it kind of gets a little bubbly, the juice here, and then we're gonna turn it to simmer, and we're gonna simmer it for 2 hours.
And
You're
the
done.
And do you put the top on?
Yes, and we cook it with the top on.
Okay.
Hi, getting ready to eat these delicious tamales that my partner Stanley made. Good.
Is Manuel's gonna sue him or what?
I'll tell you, he would put Manuel out of business. Thank you, Stanley.
All right, folks, look. Had a good time over here with Stanley.
Hey, look, guys, if y'all want the recipe or whatever, just email me back on rodmeal.com and I'd be glad to send it to you. I'll send you the type pot we use. Send you
recipe where you can just put in how many batches you want and it automatically tells you what the ingredients are. So good eating. We'll see y'all later. Thank you. And in case some of you don't know Stanley is one of the pack.
Oh.
Now you all know who he is.
There you go.
All right, Mike Ling, signing out.
Bye.
Mike's in the kitchen cooking redfish, coubillon, frog legs in the fryer. Swordfish, backstrap, the breast, oh yeah, throw it all on the fire. Out in the sportsman's paradise.